Welcome, everybody, to this very amazing and incredibly prestigious community call. 16th of June, it's a Friday, as usual, and we're back with another community call. This time I have more guests on stage than I can count, so I'm not even going to try to do that. But before the guests get to introduce themselves, as usual, I'm going to go through our quick news roundup. But in general, you're going to hear mostly about the Delegators Program. So this call is dedicated to the kickoff of the NIM Delegators Program. Well, originally we were supposed to select 25 mixed nodes to delegate from the NIM treasury to, but then we had so many great submissions that we ended up actually onboarding 41 people initially, and then we added an additional person who I'm going to talk about a bit later on Telegram, that a vote was conducted. Anyways, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, so let's go through with the quick news roundup first. And as usual, if you have any questions, comments, or memes or funny things to say, make sure to share it in the dedicated chat of the NIM stage, which we're on currently. And then we're going to be keeping an eye on that one as they pop up. Without further ado, let's get started. General updates. There's a NIM tutorial contest ongoing right now. This has been ongoing for quite some time. So if you have been keeping an eye on our channels, then you probably ran into an announcement or a reminder about it. This is basically an effort on our part to involve our community in creating educational content on NIM, which is, I think, a super great opportunity. We also extended the number of languages that are supported. So basically all the languages that we support, which is 9 languages. Sorry, I'm not going to list all of them because then we're going to be sitting here. We support all of these languages with this program as well. So if you have, if you ever did anything with NIM which seemed complicated, but you figured out how to do it, then create a guide of it, upload it in video format, or write it down in text format, and then share it. The link to this and everything else that I'm mentioning is going to be shared in the chat. So if you're further interested, then make sure to check out the blog post shared by Nick. And then, the next news item is what I already mentioned. The Delegators Program kicked off. So stay tuned because this community call is dedicated to that. So basically, there was 6 weeks of application process and selection process and interviews and all of that stuff, which is pretty trying, but very fun. And then we ended up with 42 people joining, many of whom are on stage today. And so I recently wrote a blog post. The next news item is that I recently wrote a blog post, which was the first, just an initial insight into what kind of data we got out from the surveys that you filled out. A huge thanks for that again. In the coming weeks, there are going to be more like little blog posts and some other things that are going to be dropping, that are results of the surveys. Stay tuned for that. My initial blog post will be shared. And then using Novaya Gazeta, I didn't pronounce that right, but hopefully everybody who needs it knows what I'm talking about here. Purely through the mixnet is not possible by no trust verify. It's a pretty important news item. As you know, Novaya Gazeta is basically the last bastion standing of freedom of press in Russia. So they ruthlessly critical, and they also do some great investigative journalism, and they are not just government propaganda. And there are very few news outlets in the country which are like that. So it's a critical importance. And as you may imagine, if you visit that website, that puts quite a bit of a target on your back. So now, with the help of No Trust Verify, our key contributors, you can actually access the site through the NIM mixnet. So a link to that blog post was shared in the chat. And we were also on a few events, as usual. We shared a recap of the events that we attended in Prague. There were quite a few things going on there, including a meetup organized by Pineapple Proxy, which I also attended myself. And I met some amazing people from the community, some of whom are actually Delegators Program participants now, and also in the audience of this call. So it was pretty fun. Read the blog post. Harry presented at Gateway to Cosmos 2023. It was a pretty interesting presentation from what I understand, although this is one of the few that I didn't get to listen to myself yet. After the call, I'll be doing that as well. And then lastly, NIM was also at VivaTech, which is Europe's basically biggest startup and tech event in Paris. It's actually still ongoing, and we're in booth B30. So if you're in Paris and have the time, make sure to drop by and say hi. Alexis is there. He just gave a talk, I think, yesterday. And from what I understand, he's still at booth B30 and would love to hang out with you. And with that, let's move on to the many guests on stage today. How is it going, folks? I'm going to start introducing everybody, but you will have to say the things about yourself that people need to know, because I don't know everything about everybody. Let's start with Palm Flake. We already know from the previous community call. How is it going, sir?
Yeah, good, thanks. Explore NIM, and with the help of Supermate, building the bash tool. Yeah, I was on the last community call, so next.
Great demo last time, right?
Terrible demo.
All right, maybe we'll be able to fix that this time around. And then the only other person from the NIM team, actually, other than myself, Daniel. Hey there.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all.
How is it going, sir? Daniel and I were responsible from the NIM team for everything related to the Delegators Program. We designed it. We interviewed everybody. That's why I thought Daniel will be a good guest for this one. And on to you, Supermaya. How is it going?
Hello, guys. Doing great. So, yeah, I'm one of the participants from the Delegations Program. I'm from Brazil, and recently I've been helping Pomflick with his Bash 2 on Explore NIM that we will hopefully showcase successfully this time.
Sounds great. Yeah, looking forward to that. And now on to Piyush, it's not Piyush's first time on the community call. I've had him on earlier as well. He's a node operator, and also, you know what? I'm not going to introduce you. Say your piece, sir.
Yeah, everyone. Nice to be here. Yeah, I was here once before as well as a node operator. Now I'm here as a Delegator Program member. And I'm really happy to talk more about what I've been doing related to, improving and, quantifying the anonymity of these networks and so on. But yeah, overall, I'm basically a privacy researcher, and I'm currently working at K11.
With whom, if I may ask?
With, of course, I'm working with Claudia Diaz, who is the chief scientist of NIM.
You guys may have heard that name before.
Yes, we have been looking at quite a few.
All right. So last but not least, over to Rubeola. How is it going, sir?
Hey, hello everybody. I am fine. I hope that everybody is good. I am part of the Platohedro. It's an organization here in Colombia, in Medellin. I am part of the program, Delegation Program 2. We start with NIM this year. Try to learn about it so much and try to power the community in Latin and grow out the community, try to collaborate with other people in other cities in Latin America, in Mexico, for example, Peru. I am here for first time, try to learn. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining. On that note, I thought I'd chat with Daniel a little bit about the general ideas behind the Delegators Program and maybe a little bit about the process, and also Daniel's strong lobbying to onboard participants from Latin America and what that was about. So what's up, Daniel?
Yeah, I make strong lobby with that. The main idea with this is that we have a lot of mixed nodes, mainly focused in Europe, with probably almost 40% of them in Germany and Finland in the same provider. So the idea, if you take a little look to the maps of mixed nodes in the two main explorers that we use, our Explorer and the Guru Explorer, you will see that there is a huge concentration there, but there is a lack of mixed nodes in other regions. So this is a question of security and privacy also for NIM, because if we have a legal change in Germany or in Europe, then a lot of mixed nodes too much mixed nodes will be involved in that modification. So it's necessary to express the NIM mixedness into more countries and other regions. And Latin America, it was almost empty, like it was the more underrepresented region. Now it's not. Now it's Africa, which we are going to work in next month probably. But at that moment, Latin America was almost empty. Like there was only two mixed nodes in Mexico. That is North America, not South America. And then the main part of the region, Central America and South America, was empty. So the idea was to help people to create mixed nodes there and also to engage community there. Because that everyone can also set up a mixed node from other country which is underrepresented. But the idea is also to involve local communities, which can help local activists and other kind of business to join NIM and other developers for that land. So we start to look for communities who were working on Web3, on privacy, on crypto, communities who were working previous years or previous decades in a cyberpunk way of doing things. We contact them, we present NIM, we make some travels, we make some meetings, and start to spread the NIM word in the region. So now we can say that we have, I think it's more than 12 mixed nodes, or even more than 12 mixed, probably close to 20 mixed nodes in the world region. And actively, it's like 12 of them. I think like 12 of them won the Delegations Program, which make me very proud, because also that people is being very active in the community. Also, the main criteria for the Delegations Program was the underrepresented region, but the second criteria was the activity in the community. Community activations and being active in the community and make software, make documentation, help the newbies, translate, make memes, spread the new words. So that was other criteria for that program, not only the region, but also the activation of the people. And that will be also probably in the next delegations program, which we still have no date. But at least we need to rest a little bit, because we made a lot of job to make this happen, and we need some time because we have a lot of tasks to do, because NIM is happening so incredible things in next months that we have no time to make absolutely all at the same time. But probably in 2-3 months, we will start to work once again. So guys, this is the trick to win the program, is basically being active, help the community, spread the word, participate in our activities, get new people here, and give support to the newbies, make translations and things like this. Especially, I'm very happy to have people like Platohedro or like Supermeya here, which we meet in some travels to Colombia and to Web Summit in Rio de Janeiro. So I think things that we are doing in moving in territory are working, and I'm very happy about this.
Exactly. So for this first round of the Delegators Program, as you know, there will be many, as Daniel also mentioned. We tried to choose nodes from a good spread of countries, from a good spread of underrepresented countries, but there was a focus on Latin America, given that it's, as a continent, it's an underrepresented one. And the next, it looks like, we're not sure about the details of the next round, but it looks like the next one will be in the same way focused around Africa. Just like Nick said, we really need more nodes in Africa. So we're looking to focus over there. And besides what Daniel said, that it would be a bit strange to launch Delegators Program 2, like a week after Delegators Program 1. The other reason why we want to let the first one run a little bit before we launch the second round is because, of course, we want to monitor if we have the right impact, and also want to monitor what kind of impact these delegations have on nodes which didn't receive delegations but are not like high saturated. So we would want to gather some data to see how we can support everybody the best. Now, I'm moving on to a short conversation with Piyush, because he will have to leave us a bit early, but I'm super stoked to be able to talk about this topic with him. Let's talk a little bit about what you've been working on with Claudia lately.
Yeah, well, I've been working on, quite a few projects related to NIM, but I think in this case, I'll be specifically talking about the Anonymity project, which is about how can we, in actual sense, measure what is the network level anonymity. And for, let's say, for normal people, network level anonymity can be something like, do I know the IP address of the node who generated this transaction? And if I know, then that is, a problem. That is a leak. And since that is also one of the aim of, kind of NIM, that, okay, you want to hide the identity, network level identity, and, eventually provide anonymity. And so what we did as part of this research was to see that what is there in the existing cryptocurrency systems, such as Bitcoin. Do they have any sort of protection with respect to anonymity? If they do, how good they are, how bad they are, do we need to, change their architecture, or do they need to look at, things from a very different perspective? And so in this work, we kind of developed a framework to measure, the anonymity, network level anonymity of any given, network. And when I say network, a peer-to-peer network, because peer-to-peer network is a network where every node is in some sense connected to other nodes in the network. Those other nodes are connected to other nodes, which is kind of the architecture for most of the, cryptocurrency or blockchain-based systems. So we kind of, devised this way to measure the anonymity, and then we measured the anonymity for things, for techniques such as Dandelion that have been deployed in the Bitcoin network. And we saw that, they actually do not provide good enough anonymity. And even other, layer 2 networks, which have a very different kind of a routing scheme, because even with respect to routing scheme, we can have, okay, there are some networks which just broadcast the transaction in the network, and they keep broadcasting, till everyone knows. And then there are some networks where, the whole path is fixed. So we had all these, different kind of configurations, different kind of cryptography systems, different kinds of routing, and we all put it up in a framework to measure the anonymity. And then, this is what led to the point that, okay, existing solutions are not enough and we need to look at something better to provide network level anonymity in these systems. I hope, I was able to summarize it.
Absolutely. Question though, imagine that I'm 5 years old, which I kind of am in this topic. So how would you explain how the measurement works? How did you come up with the structure or your system?
Yes. So the basic idea here is that, when we have this kind of a network, we assume that there are some nodes which are part of the network, which can be, malicious, whose purpose is, because by default, even if you talk about cryptocurrency systems, we should not be able to know who is performing transaction to which entity. And so if there are some nodes in the network who, are part of the network as malicious, so we kind of try to analyze if some malicious node is receiving a transaction from some of its neighbors. That is how, transactions propagate in these networks. We try to, model the probability of, okay, who could be the possible originator of this transaction that I am receiving from some of my neighbor. And in that, we add the knowledge of the routing scheme. If it is a broadcast, we can know that, okay, if I'm receiving as a part of a group, if I have, 5, 10 nodes in the network and I'm receiving transactions from all different directions at the same time, then, I can kind of analyze the symmetry and come to know that, okay, all this points to one single node in the network and possibly that is the originator. So we kind of assign probabilities to all possible nodes who could be the originators. Once we have these kind of probabilities, who can be the originator and, who cannot be, then we try to combine them and see that, okay, can we actually pinpoint who is the originator? How high is the probability? Is it with 90% probability we can say that, node X is the originator or node Y is the originator and, so on. And then we, do this for different kind of fraction of corrupted nodes in the network, malicious nodes, then we kind of, quantify, okay, how much damage can be done by how many nodes if we go about this way. I'm not sure if I was able to answer the question, but you can have a follow-up. Yeah.
This was the IM10 version, not the IM5 version, but it was sufficient for me. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
We have a community question, which is actually, I think, a good one. So are you guys studying Monero? Did you measure Monero as well with this framework?
Yeah, that's a good question, because what we studied were the schemes such as Dandelion, Dandelion++. And Dandelion is actually, in fact, also used in Monero as a technique to provide network level privacy. And since we kind of showed that it is not very good with respect to anonymity, these results are also applicable to Monero. So we do not directly study Monero, but because we studied this study, these results are also applicable to them. And I was in a brief discussion with also, the community members there. They were interested in this work, and that's why I will also be giving a talk at MoneroCon, about this work and how this affects them and how they can maybe improve it. Yeah.
Amazing. And the obvious question, what about NIM? How does it compare? Or did you do any measurements on NIM, the NIM mixnet?
Yeah, so for this, work, academic work, we did not consider NIM. We were just, considered to build a framework with which we can, measure the anonymity and, analyze any given scheme. And we actually took just the existing schemes which have been deployed, such as Dandelion or maybe, the Lightning Network. But we can definitely, do a analysis for NIM, which we haven't done yet. So the basis of this research was to kind of see if the existing primitives are enough or not. And we kind of showed that, okay, maybe they're not enough to provide network level anonymity. And the next step is to go and see, okay, what is better and how much better it is with regards to NIM.
But in the context of this framework, to me, it sounds like NIM would do exceptionally well. I'm guessing that's not because you're biased, although as a node operator and someone who's working with Claudia, you're semi-name personnel. So you could say that you're biased, aren't you?
Can you repeat the question?
I'm just pulling your leg. I was saying as a joke that you're biased, but probably you aren't. You're a true scientist, from what I understand.
Yeah, because you never mentioned in a work about, which work is better. And we even, gave some suggestions of how the existing schemes can be improved. But if you'll ask me, I think fundamentally the approach of the mixnet is different than what they actually do, because they suggest changes within the routing scheme of the cryptocurrency itself. And what NIM will do is it will not meddle with any of the existing properties of those networks, but it can just be used as a plug and play in the network, that, okay, you just need to, now route your traffic through this network, and now you'll not have to worry about network level anonymity. And these systems which I studied, this was in contrast to say, okay, in Bitcoin itself, earlier the routing used to happen in, XYZ way. Now it should happen in, some other ABC way. And this way we can, achieve anonymity. So that kind of also has a lot of burden to the implementer itself to integrate these things and then to track, okay, what can break and what cannot break with respect to other properties that these systems, provide.
That's super interesting stuff.
Yeah.
I know that you have to go soon, so I will ask like one last question from you. Actually, it's two questions in one. Why did you start running a node back in the day, and why did you end up applying to the Delegators program?
So initially, I started running the node because I was already, doing my PhD in, anonymous communication, censorship-related research. And in that case, Tor was a, very prominent system. It still is, it's functional and so on. And at that point of time, through Twitter and through other places, I came to see that, okay, there's this, new network coming up, which is kind of trying to, deploy a mixnet. And from our previous, whatever I studied, I knew that, deploying a mixnet, it's not easy. There are many challenges. So I was very excited. And initially I said that, okay, I will try to contribute to it from the very start. And I think I was, except for the first 100 nodes, I was, part of the network for all the testnet. So that was the initial motivation, being a researcher and being also part of the community to see how we can, support this project and how this kind of shapes up. Now, the reason why I, joined this program was basically even after, running the node for all this time, it has been, kind of difficult to, let's say, have delegators on the node. For the network to function, obviously some nodes can survive even if you do not have, delegations and so on. But for actual, decentralization, it is kind of important that, you have some stake and then, you can be part of the network. And moreover, I see that, as you said, that for the functioning of the mixnet, it's very important that the nodes are very much diverse. And so from the very start, I was running a node in India. I'm not saying it's a very underrepresented region, but still I felt that, since most of the nodes are there, it would be a very nice idea to have a node which is permanently here in this case. And so being part of the delegation programs, kind of helps gain trust, decentralize the way, we do these things. So that was, one of the motivation to join the Delegators program.
We tried to choose a variety of profiles, the Delegators program, so that there are not only, technical folks or node runners, programmers, but there are also some people with other backgrounds. But you're the only researcher, scientist person. So
I did not know that actually.
Yeah. Well, you will get to know the participants a bit better very soon.
Yeah. So we already saw all their profiles, but I think there were quite a few people who had already some experience. But I think you're saying they're more from the dev side, not from the research side. Maybe I got it.
Exactly. It was hard to choose something vastly different from dev. There was obviously an overrepresentation in the applicants, in developers and also node operators from other projects. So,
yeah.
But I think you are about to leave us, right?
Yeah. And I can stay for 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'm very excited because we already have a group. They are all, very passionate people, as I could see from the interaction. And I think this is a very good way as a next step to kind of maintain the mixnet, or maybe to keep the mixnet functional, for a long time. And I'm really looking forward to, contributing more in the ways that I'm already, involved in, and even in ways which I haven't been given a role yet. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for that. And also, I'm also super excited to see where the Delegators program is taking us.
Yeah.
I need one promise from you. Whenever there are some serious developments in the research with Claudia,
yes,
I want to know, and just please let me know, and then I'll bring you back on and we can talk about it. It's super interesting stuff.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. I'll keep that in mind, and I'll keep updating you and everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
And catch you on the channels very soon.
Thank you.
And now moving on to the conversation with rubeola. I'm going to actually ask Daniel to do this. I think you're more qualified for this one. Go ahead, guys.
Well, let me introduce you to Rubeola, which is real name Alex. He's a Platohedro boss. That's his also another nickname. We love this thing. We love these people. They actually live in Medellin, in Bogota, and it's a very nice project. I met them like almost a decade ago, like 12 years ago was the first time I was there. And they showed me the house where they made activities with a lot of young people in Medellin and with families. They start to make some tech work very harder, like a little hack lab with community participation. And well, that start to grow until the project that they have right now, which includes a fantastic crypto laboratory, Web3 space, in which they teach the people how to develop technology also with blockchains and with how to develop Web3 projects. And they starting to put these technologies to very young people there. And for me, it's one of the best cultural, tech, social, and activist projects in Latin America. I really love them. I think you will notice this very, very easy and you will also love them. It's just a question of traveling there and stay with them like a week in the house, helping them, making activities, and for sure you are going to fall in love with them. They joined the community about like 4 months ago. They start immediately to help some newbie people. They set up their mix node. They start to make some tests. And they start to make some technology also for us, like very easy things at the beginning. But that's the way, like start doing. So please, Alex, if you can introduce Platohedro project, and you can say about the laboratory of Web3 and what kind of things you do there, and what are you doing with NIM also, and if you have some plans for making NIM activities there in Medellin soon. If you are so kind, can you explain that to us? Also, I would like to have also Noise here, but I think he's not. Probably he's working or he's busy, but he's another very active member. So go on, please.
Thank you, Danny, for beautiful words. I want to say apologize for Noise K because he's another member of Platohedro, very involved in this process with NIM. But he is in Bogota now in exposition about the AI and gender. So maybe he's busy in this moment. But I want to tell you about the Platohedro. It's an organization here in Medellin 19 years ago. We started in Medellin, this process very interesting to make something to transform the situation in the city and try to invite the people to learn together and try to transform this situation. So we have a program to education with child and young and old people, but the focus is to empower the people with the technology. The people appropriate the technology and use it for transforming the situation. The last 3 years, we start the study group about the crypto, about the blockchain. This group, we call it Cypher Plato. We have meeting every week in Platohedro, so with the people very interested about this topic. We start at the meetings talking about it, and then we try to make some workshop, little by little, try to introduce more in this technology. For now, we have 2 nodes in Latin America. One is in Colombia, another is in Argentina. It's very interesting because we try to learn it in the action. So we start this process because for us it's very important this topic about the privacy, more about the political aspect. So we listen Daniel talking about it. He invited to learn about the NIM. We like it so much, this project, but we are very interested to grow up in community in Latin America. We start to translate some documentation about the NIM to Spanish because it's very important to share this knowledge with the people who don't have the possibility to learn in English. But because we are very interested with connecting this technology with the community that we have working now, because some people never have the possibility to get a computer, for example, They have a mobile phone. We try to invite the people use the technology they have. So we have workshops in Platohedro. We have some process with different kind of people. In this moment, we want to make 1 month only dedicated to NIM. So we planning to get some workshops, meeting, try to make documentation in Spanish, and maybe on the last of the month we want to get a hackathon. We say hackathon Cita because it's a Spanish name maybe, but try to make something with me because it's very important for us. We are very connected with the other ecosystem. We have support of Ethereum Foundation for translate some documentation about Solidity. But in this moment, we are connection with the community about the Cosmos because the last year in the Medellin, we have a hackathon about the Cosmos. So we start conversation with the people. Maybe in the end of July, we have a little hackathon with the Cosmos community in Medellin and other people involved with the Ethereum too. But Platohedro is a safe place to the people enjoy meeting very safe because nobody judge or nobody say nothing bad. Try to learn and combine the community in this technology. Thank you so much for this invitation. It's my first time in this community call. We are very interested to participate more, and we have dreams to start a relation with other nodes in Latin America, like Brazil, Mexico, Argentina, and Peru, and try to make a little big network Latin America to have and work together. Maybe it's a dream and try to start get conversation, put some interesting over the table, try to make something together because it's very important to get collaboration, to make collaboration in Latin America to grow up. If you have something question, I am here for to answer.
Thanks you a lot, Alex, for this introduction about Platohedro. I put some photos I take from the webpage of some of the projects that they are currently working on, like Cyberqueer. It's digital art with 10 artists about cyberqueer and other social and technology mixes. A blockchain accelerator machine is a space where it's a accelerator of blockchain projects in the community. And I think this is one of the most nice projects connected to the Web3 that I see in the social aspect in Colombia. And I really love it. Also, some photo about impact. As you see, they work with a lot of people. There is like more than 160 organizations and thousands of youths and women and families.
I want to say another thing is because we have a network with the other organizations in the world, but we start with a conversation with other organizations in Africa. They are very interested about this technology. We start to make some workshops with the people in Senegal and Uganda. Maybe in the November or December, we try to travel to Africa and start in some workshops with the community in these two countries.
Well, that's incredible. That's very, very nice news because, as you see, we are going to try to focus next delegation program, probably not only in Africa. Asia and Latin America still need a lot of mixed nodes. We still need to grow there, but we are going to put like a special eye on Africa. So it will be really, really incredible if you can help us to start communication with Web3 and crypto communities in the two countries there. Also, if you invite us, probably I'm not saying I can confirm that, but probably at least I can tell you that I'm going to fight a lot. So we can send someone from NIM core team there also to be in that activity with you, and also could present NIM to the communities and try to make like a NIM meetup there and try to be present there because we miss Africa in our organization. I think we need to do like an extra effort to bring people from that region on board the Born project. So I really appreciate, Alex, if you can count on us with that activity. I cannot confirm, as I told you, that we are going to do that, but for sure, and you know me, I'm going to fight that. Usually when I fight a lot, sometimes things happen. At least I can promise you that. I recommend you also to take a look to the webpage of Platohedro, which you have there. They have an incredible amount of documentation and research and projects, pedagogic projects with communities and tech and so on. It's like a huge example for the world, which I feel very proud you are here at NIM, actually. And thanks a lot for your support. They have a lot of contributions, but I think like Noise was preparing that part and he's not able to connect today. So we are going to let that for other day. But as you know, we have a Spanish channel, Telegram, Twitter, and we have that links there. So if you want to join there, if you speak Spanish or you want to speak with the Spanish community, you are really welcome to that channel. Sudo, if we can please go on.
Yeah, thanks for that, folks. It is awesome to see you in the program. And moving on, actually, to Palmflake and Super Maya, and starting with Palmflake, I guess. You guys sort of joined forces in the meantime, and maybe let's talk about the spectacular demo that we saw in the previous community call. So maybe for those who were not here for that, can you summarize Palmflake what you
Yeah, sure. You mean the demo? I can summarize the demo. It failed. There wasn't a VPS ready to test the tool on. Is that what you? You want an introduction, moreover?
Yeah, no, it was half a joke. The spectacular part was a joke. But then maybe you could summarize what it should have done. And actually, Super Maya is telling me that maybe we could do the demo now.
So yeah, it's a tool for the entire community. But something that Daniel is talking about, it's kind of like touched an idea with me is that, okay, so if we're trying to go out to all of these different countries and they all speak different native languages, like I'd like to try and make the tool not require any language. Like I think that's going to be a focus moving forward, is that the tool is usable without understanding a language. I'm going to try and work on that. It's so that, you know, if African community was interested, then they can basically just get hold of the tool. I'll have a look and see how I can do that. Maybe me and Super will talk about it. I think that's kind of important, actually. Something I overlooked is that there's so many languages that maybe we should try and reduce it to not needing to understand any language, if that makes sense.
How would you go about that?
I mean, I'm not sure, but there isn't really a requirement to understand a language to install a mixed node if the tool does it for you. If it doesn't ask you any questions, you just copy and paste a line of code and it's done. Then, and on top of that, if you wanted to show the prompts, then you could have a selection at the start for language, and then the prompts that come out at the end, which tell you to bond, because that's obviously in English, could come out in a different language. Like that's possible.
Yeah, I guess.
It would make the binary multilingual.
Yeah, that would be amazing for accessibility.
Yeah, I think that's something that makes sense. The tool's there for the community to make it easier for, you know, anyone to run a node. So this is something I'm going to look at quite swiftly, actually. Yeah. That's just come on from what Daniel was saying.
The last thing that we should probably explain is what the tool should be doing.
Yeah, so the tool does everything. So the tool should install your node, it should update your node, and all of this stuff kind of semi-automatically. If you don't really know Linux, this should just help basically anyone be able to run a mixed node, take away the like developer level knowledge required. I think it will help a lot.
onto the possible demo, Super Maya. You told me yesterday or on Wednesday, I think, that we could run this demo. I did create just so you know, this was not planned at all. So I did create the SSH key while Daniel was having a conversation with rubeola. So if we can try it, I'm happy to share my screen and show people how it works. And I'm a total noob as well. If I can use something to install a node, then anybody can, probably, with hands.
Okay, let's do it. I'll drop the GitHub here in the chat. So
just briefly, while you do that, I just want to say that after the last community call, Super actually reached out to me in DMs, and he's put in a lot of work on this tool. So shout out to him. He's just reached out to me, and yeah, just jumped straight into it. Done a lot of work in GitHub, changing things up. So super thankful to him.
Pomflake when I got here, Pomflake already did most of the hard part, so I just organized what he did a little bit.
All right, so what do I do with this? Should I share my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Show you what I got.
Yeah. On the GitHub page, you have like a step-by-step tutorial on how to use the tool.
Oof, maybe that's going to be a bit too high resolution for my current internet connection. How can I change that? Yeah, I'll need to start again.
All right.
Let me try to do.
All right, there we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Amazing. All right, so this is the GitHub repo, and I have my SSH key here. Should I send it to you or something?
Well, do you want to do it on your computer or?
Don't we need a VPS for this? I don't have a VPS.
I have a VPS. Wait, let me send you the details on DM on Discord.
Yeah, okay, cool. You'll now see my message requests. These are all scammers. I guess we're not connected yet, so.
Yeah. Did you get my DM?
Yes.
All right. This is the IP.
But I will also have to send you my SSH key, no?
No, you can log in with root on that IP. It's basically a new. It's not a new VPS, but it's basically a new VPS.
All right. So how do I do that? SSH.
Yeah. So SSH and then the username
the
root
IP.
and then the IP.
Username root.
Yeah. So SSH root at IP.
Just like this. Root at. Okay. Cool. You need to spell it out for me, man.
It's okay. So you type yes. All right. Now you type in the password.
I'm not gonna type that in. I'm just copy pasting. Sorry about that.
It's good. It's okay.
All right. I'm in.
Exactly. So now you just need to paste the GitHub command. So if you go on GitHub.
No, not. Wait, it's here.
Yeah.
I have so many browsers open. It's crazy. All right.
So if you see like on top of the README, there's like 4 steps you need to follow. So.
Wait, where's the README? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Usage.
This, right?
So, exactly.
No, install. I already did that, and then install Git on the server.
Yeah.
Is it a fresh server?
It's not a fresh server, so Git's already installed. But if it wasn't, you just paste that in, and it'd be like straight up. So just paste that in, and it will do everything. And then after installing Git, yeah, you just paste a one-liner in the terminal, and everything should work fine.
Yes. Or no, wait, just like this, right?
Yeah.
Username. Well. Oh, I can be. Wait, how do I go back from here? I don't want.
Oh, actually, I've never run into there because because you're sudo and there's already a sudo group. So
yeah, how do I go back
just
to create a new user from here?
Control C.
Control C. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then so paste the script again. Create a user that's not sudo.
Okay, so then sudo nym. That's my name.
No, actually, type in CD, enter. Just plain CD. CD and hit
CD.
enter. Enter. Okay, now paste the command. All right.
Okay, cool. So then make new sudo user. Yes. And it's sudo nym. No, nym. Yeah.
All right.
Does not exist.
What?
Why is it denied?
It's forced by name. I think try not using sudo inside your name because, like, I don't know if people know, but sudo it's like.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So then I go CD,
again
right?
to go. Yeah.
And then this.
Can you just use
and
nym
then yes.
by MYM?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. It worked.
Type in the password you just chose. Nice. So now you created a new user with sudo privileges because you're not supposed to run your mixnode on the root user because it's like the admin user. You should minimize the time you spent on the admin user because then it lowers the chance of you making mistakes, really bad mistakes. So now that you created a user to run your nym mixnode, you just copy and paste the script again into the new mixnode, into the new user. So just copy and paste again. Yeah.
Okay.
And now
by the way, folks, just for the record, I hope everyone realizes that I made it way more complicated than it has to be by trying to name myself sudo. Anyways, yeah.
So we'll update the server. It takes a while. I don't know if it's Contabo.
Yeah, it's Contabo. Yeah, don't run any mixnodes on Contabo.
I think we straight up didn't allow people to like sign up for the delegations program from Contabo or like with Contabo nodes. I heard from CGI bin that it's a really bad provider. But for demonstration purposes, folks, it'll have to do. Drum roll. Does anybody have a joke for the time being?
The joke is Contabo.
That was actually a good one.
It takes so long.
Wait, what's the audience reaction? How do we feel about it? I want to go back to the stage and check how everyone is feeling. Wait.
I am very happy. I'm very happy because.
All right. So everybody's very excited, I see.
I learned
today.
You missed that. Damn it! I was stupid to check the thing. You missed the big reveal. So yeah.
Enter which option? One or two?
I want mixnode, right?
Yes. So yeah, Bonflake explained to me that like in the future he wants to do that for like gateways and validators and everything. So, but for now it's mixnode only.
It's phenomenal. It was really easy. I mean, other than the part where I completely sidetracked the process by selecting a stupid name, but other than that, it was actually super duper easy. So then install mixnode and that's it.
Yeah. So you just have to paste the wallet address and then it will install the mixnode for you.
Do I paste my own wallet address? Wait. Yeah, I don't know if I have to show something. Yeah, I would have to show my seed phrase for that.
I can give you a
can you send me please
it's
do.
Mine, but like here.
Nym community call. Does anyone have a Nym wallet address?
I do. Yeah. Anyways, I just have it in the wallet itself. So I would have to look for my seed phrase, then enter it, and then all of my tokens would be stolen by Yana probably.
So yeah, the mixnode's installed and running.
That is freaking amazing, guys.
Yeah,
that's really great. I mean, I'll be honest. So part of my interview, go ahead.
Yeah, so maybe it would be good for you to rerun the script now to see the other options you would get if you've already installed.
Okay, so then what do I do?
Just paste the same line of code. You always work.
You have to connect again to the VPS. So now you can connect, but like you don't need to connect as root. You can connect as nym. So nym IP.
This right? No, wait, no SSH.
Yeah, SSH.
SSH. Nym at IP. Okay. Password. Wait, it was. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, then you just paste the script again.
Okay. No, not this. God damn it. By the way, did you guys know that the clipboard manager that I'm using is one of the worst things in terms of privacy and security in the history of mankind? Just saying, Anyways. So
now the server update should be faster since you already updated it.
Put the password there. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, it'll be a lot quicker because it's already done.
All right. Well, it's still just. Oh wait, it's one.
Yeah. So from
update,
there you
backup.
can, do all the stuff you need on your max node.
Okay, let's check status. Curious. All right, so this is basically the log, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this also make the firewall and also make the system the start-stop script and all the stuff.
Yeah, it does everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's amazing,
man.
If it works for me, folks, it works for anybody. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to share a story instead. So as part of my interview process, my homework was to set up a node. Actually, I had to set up a mixed node and a gateway as well. And me, as I have zero experience with anything that is command line except for some overclocking stuff and flashing NVIDIA BIOSes, like hacked BIOSes. It was a really painful process for me. So the fact that it happened in the span of 10 minutes is absolutely mind-blowing, guys. It's a true achievement, more so than you know.
Yeah, we can see that mixed node in the Explorer right now.
I mean, you should be.
I don't think so because we haven't bonded it yet.
The mixed node wasn't bonded. There is a thought to also try looking into doing it from the wallet CLI and automatically bonding for them, but I think that's a little bit over the top for the time being.
There is other part of the configuration that is entering the wallet and copy something and going back, no? And that's not done, I suppose.
Say again, sorry.
Yeah, there is other part of the in the doc in the NIM docs after doing this, like you need to open the wallet, bonding, but not only bonding. I don't remember right now, but like copy some code there and go back to the server and no.
Yes. So I believe that can be done automatically if you was to use the CLI. But the problem with that is you need the mnemonic, and I don't know the best way to put that into a script without some security concerns. So right now, I just assume that people will bond as per the NIM documentation, like with a desktop wallet, and do it through there. And that obviously gives the script to paste in. So I haven't included that in the script, but the only part is the bonding. The person will have to do themselves.
And I think that's the easy part, right? So that you have a GUI for that. I mean, even for myself, mostly familiar and comfortable with GUIs. You know, it's an easy thing to do from the wallet itself. All right, well, folks, that was an actually spectacular, very successful demo. So big thanks for everybody who contributed to it, especially Super Maya and Poundflake who developed this tool. And on that note, we're also out of time for this call, and I don't want to drag it on for too long. Does anybody have any closing thoughts for this one?
Just a quick one. If anyone is having problems with the tool, someone asked about an existing mixed node and running this, it should work fine. Any problems, just reach out and we'll make sure it's fixed so that it works in your use case if it's kind of like a niche use case. Sorry,
my apologies. Also to the spectators, Jana, you're absolutely right. Thanks for everybody who witnessed this groundbreaking success and the history of this project. And stay tuned for more. Actually, Mr. J, the pizza man, has created a pull-up for this event, but as usual, lately, the bot that distributes it is broken. So you need to DM him to claim your pull-up. And I would like to wish everybody a lovely weekend. Catch you on the channels up for Monday, and see you all next time.
Thank you guys for having me, and have a nice day.
See you soon.
Bye, everyone.